All right, so these are our notes we just took over Lewis dot structures. You should have gone and done your NAS practice on your Vesper worksheet. Okay, so now let's go here. And at the top, there's a reminder how to solve for NAS because we're still using these numbers. We're going to use these numbers to draw our structure. Okay, so first it says, draw a skeleton of the molecule. The skeleton is the atoms we are using to draw our Lewis structure. So what atoms are we using? We're using these atoms here, boron, 1 boron, and 3 chlorine. Okay, that same one is here. So this is still that first example. Okay, and it says determine who's going in the center, the middle atom. That's what we call our central atom. And it says put the least electronegative in the center, or I made it easy, the single guy. Okay, so let's look here. Here's our electronegativity values. Boron is 2.04. Chlorine is 3.16. So boron goes in the center. But I've made it easy on this one. Okay, here's boron. And then we're going to attach 3 chlorines because there are 3 chlorines in our formula. 1 boron, 3 chlorine. So there's 4 atoms here. Just these 4. And then it says we're going to place the shared electrons in the diagram. We're going to connect all the atoms to the central atom. How are we going to do that? With a bond, okay? And a line is going to be a bond. And I'm going to put dots on the end to represent electrons. So here I've got how many shared electrons? 2, 4, 6 shared electrons, which is what we calculated here on our NAS. We calculated 6 shared electrons. All right. Then what are we doing? We're going to place all available electrons in the diagram as unshared pairs around all the atoms until the octet of each atom is fulfilled. Okay, so this means we're going back to these numbers. Boron needs 6 to be happy. How many around him? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So he has his 6 electrons, okay? He's already got his 6. He doesn't need any more. Okay, what about chlorine, though? Each chlorine needs 8, and right now, each chlorine only has 2, so they get what we call unshared pairs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so that is right here. It says, notice each atom now has 8 electrons unless it's an exception like boron. Okay, full octet now that they are sharing. Okay, so that's why we're going to share electrons to get a full octet. And now count up all your atoms and make sure they match the numbers calculated. So we should have a total of 24 atoms. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. Of the 24, how many are shared? 6. 2, 4, 6. Okay, that's how we do that. Let's look at our second example. Hydrofluoric acid. It's just 1 hydrogen, 1 fluorine. Okay, so again, you would want to pick the central atom, but what's it telling us right here? Hydrogen is never ever placed in the center. All right, so even though if I look at my electronegativity values, I've got hydrogen and fluorine, hydrogen cannot be a central atom. So what am I going to do? I'm just going to put them next to each other. I've got hydrogen and fluorine, okay? HF. Let's look at our numbers, though, for that. It says, right, we need a total of 8, and they're going to share 2, which makes sense because I'm going to put a line here to connect these. 1, 2. I'm sharing 2 atoms. All right, who's unhappy? Let's go back to our numbers. Hydrogen needs 2 to be happy. He's got his 2. Who's unhappy? Mr. Fluorine, and he needs 8. So he gets the unshared pairs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Total of 8 electrons, 2 of which are shared. All right. Makes sense, right? So now what are you going to do? You're going to go back to your Vesper practice worksheet. And you're going to practice drawing these diagrams. If I could find my Vesper practice worksheet, that would help. Okay, here's yours. You're going to go here, all right? Notice 1 and 2 already done for you, right? So you're going to go practice some of these. I'm going to talk about this guy right here in my next video, is this silicone trioxide. Okay, but I want you to go do that. Let me know if you have any questions.